Another question come in on email. This is in response to one of my friendly notes. Hello, John. As you kindly say that I can drop you a line saying how I am holding on, and just today by chance happens to be I'm barely holding on, I decided to write to you and hope that you could shed some light. Just to cut it short, very short, why should someone have this craving, desire and need to be in relationship? Is it only company, sex, a bit of both? Is it this feeling of being worthless in a world that can go on without you? I love art and, of course, beauty. It is, I think, our most inner desire to try and capture it in the shape of a painting, drawing, etc. And what on earth does this have to do with relationships? Today I'm pretty lost, and when I read your email, I thought of taking the chance to talk to you. Have a great day. Well, that's great, and I'm so grateful that the person wrote to me and took it's correct. It requires courage to do that. So, chapeau. In that last friendly note I was talking about, what I was talking about last week on the podcast, sex in long-term relationships. So, in terms of the question, what do we need the relationships for? Why do we crave them? Why do we go after them? In my experience, it's for two main kind of reasons. One is about seeing what's possible, and the other is about seeing your unconsciousness. So when you fall in love with somebody and you feel those profound feelings of love, it's almost like discovering a new room inside yourself that you didn't know was there. And without that other person, it's very hard to find that without the other person. The difficulty then is we kind of think we need the other person to feel it, overlooking the fact that the room is inside us and it's there and it has been there the whole time. And all the person did was help us discover it. But you can go into that room anytime. And that can take many, many relationships and having your heart broken many times before you you realize, oh, it's all inside me. I never feel these feelings in the other person's body. I only ever feel them in my body. So stands to reason that if I know how to feel these feelings in my body, if I can figure out how to access them without needing the other person, then I'm free to just love somebody because I love them, not because I need them to open up the room for me. So that's one thing. That's why we crave that. It's almost like we're homing pigeons. We have to meet somebody to open the room for us. But then the pitfall is that we think we need that person or another person or something outside ourselves to get the room open, which we don't. You can figure out how to open the room yourself. That's my experience. That's the way it is for me. I'm in the room all the time, regardless of anyone outside me. I feel like I'm deeply in love with somebody all the time, even when I'm completely alone. The other thing is, what relationships do is they highlight our unconsciousness. I can vividly remember going along, doing very well, just long after I got enlightened, and all going well, and I got into a relationship, and within 6 months I was a basket case, absolute basket case. Okay, this was very, very destructive relationship. Okay. Now, I since realized that I had intense attachment issues that I didn't even know about. And this person just managed to highlight them for me. And it was shocking, very shocking to discover this big knot of unconsciousness inside myself and see myself behaving in crazy ways, doing crazy things. I was able to, over time, years, help myself work through them. But without that person, I never would have known that. I never would have known that what was going on inside me. Now, it was very painful. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's just a good example of what relationships do, is they highlight unconsciousness for us. So you've got two things going on. And both of them are coming from the depths, the deep parts of you, you need to find someone to help you go deeper into love. so that you can discover new depths in love inside yourself. And then, they bring you there the first few times, and then you have to figure out how to find your way through there on your own, if you're lucky. And then the other thing they do is they highlight your unconsciousness, because you can be on your own. Like, that's kind of what celibacy is about, and why it's so popular in religious orders, is because relationships are so distracting. And you can be on your own, and you can be all celibate, and you can think, oh, I've really got it together. It's I'm so peaceful. I'm so zen. It's all beautiful. And then you get into a relationship with somebody, and suddenly you're snapping at them, you're biting their head off, you're being jealous, you're being envious, you're feeling insecure. It's like, oh, I don't like this. I want to go back to my cave where I was all peaceful and serene, So that's the good thing about relationships. They highlight things that you would not know otherwise, And, that can get overwhelming, and relationships can be very destructive, and they're not easy. They're not easy at all. But, what else are you going to do with your life? It's all about becoming more conscious. So everything helps you in that. Everything helps you become more conscious. Sometimes you need a rest from it. Sometimes you need to withdraw a little bit, be on your own. But then, back into it, because it helps bring you deeper, deeper into love. Okay, so I hope that was a transitory, one of those days where you feel like you're just about holding on. I hope that was just one of those days, and you wrote to me, and that was good. And I haven't waited all this time to, I responded to that person pretty much that day, just said I'd send them a quick note, and then this is a longer answer. So I know it was just one of those days, but do write to me if if it's not going well. Not that it's going to be on the podcast or anything, or I'll answer any questions, but just to know that, as I said before, the time of the guru is over, the time of the spiritual teacher is over. I'm none of those things, but I am a spiritual friend. And as a friend, you can write to me and tell me how it's going. And just the fact of seeing yourself doing that helps, and getting a bit of a response from someone who you don't know, but you also do know. Because if you're listening to me, you kind of know me a bit.